This is the street view, and this is an elevation of that street view. Elevations are a flattened side view of the building. Once you've got a set of floor plans drawn up, using the wall, window, and door tools, we can use the elevation marker tool to automatically create side views of the building. It's actually pretty easy, but let's take it step by step, and I'll show you my current workflow. So at the moment, it's hidden. We don't typically have elevation markers shown on a set of plans, so we'll just go Control L to go to our layers, and we're just going to turn on elevations. We'll go OK. This is how I've got mine set up at the moment. I'll just grab this north one, and I'll drag it just over, just so you can see how I've got the marker head set up. So if we select the north elevation and we go to settings, we'll see that we can actually change the style of the head of the elevation marker. My preference is to keep it pretty simple. I just use the first letter of the elevation that it's referencing. In this case, just the letter N. If I change this, you'll notice that it's changed it on the actual marker as well. So let's go back in, change that back to N, and go OK. But these are preset up ones that I've got for this file. If we want to create new ones, we just need to use the elevation tool. So with it selected, we'll click once and we'll click a second time. Then we'll point it in the direction that we want it to capture. So in this case, we'll point it down towards the building and press once, and there we go. From here, in the project map, it's automatically created a new drawing for us, just in the elevation section. I'm going to call this one T, just so we can differentiate between the different elevations, and I'll call it test. Enter. There we go. And it's automatically updated just in the view here as well. There's two ways I can enter the elevation. I can either right click and go open with current view settings, or in the project map, double click and see the elevation from here. Now at the moment it hasn't got layer combinations and pens all set up, so it looks a bit funky. We can adjust this really quickly and easily. If we just go to window and then we just turn on the organizer. If I go to the project map and then scroll on down to the elevations, and in the view map just here, I can drag this view just over to our elevations. From here I can set up which pens are going to be used, as well as layer combinations, as well as turn on and off these automatic elevation height markers. So we'll double click into our drawing. We'll close out of the organizer just for now. We'll go back into the view map and we'll right click and we'll go to the view settings. From here, I'm going to want to set these to my pens that I've set up. So I'll just go to ArchiCAD pen set black, we'll go OK. Now, this is a great little example actually. So the pens haven't changed over to my typical black pen set. If we go over to say my south elevation, the colored one, or even the black and white version, we'll notice that the pen set is set to black, and all my colors have been set to the one color. But on the test one, they're kind of all over the place. So while we're in the project map, we'll just right click on our test and we'll go to elevation settings. Within here, the model appearance has been set so that it's overriding our pen settings. We can just turn these off, leaving on surface and transparency, and we'll just go OK. There we go, much better. From here, I'll go back to the view map and I'll just want to set the layer combination so that it's going to hide this topography just here. I'll change it from custom to elevations and then I'll go OK. Nothing's changed yet, but if I double click, then we'll notice it'll have disappeared. The cool thing about elevation markers in ArchiCAD is that we can adjust these within the elevation itself. So at the moment, we're currently cutting off the patio a little bit here. I could go into the floor plan and grab the marker, adjust it across, so it's picking it up. But if I go undo and I go back into my elevation, I can grab this horizontal boundary just here. You'll notice that it not only changes it here, but it automatically drags it out on the floor plan as well. Handy little tricks. Now, it's not only just in the project map that we can adjust some of these settings, but if we go into the view map and right click on the test that we set up earlier, if we go to elevation settings, we can adjust those settings that we were just modifying before. The main difference is if you go into project map and you right click, you'll notice you have the elevation settings. Compared to in the view map, if we right click, we also have the view settings. And the view settings is where we can set up the pens, as well as the layer combinations, renovation status, and everything else. Things like renovation status can let us show existing elements or proposed elements, or even demolished elements. So it comes in really handy when we're trying to show what's new and what's being changed in the proposed. You'll find that one just here, and we can swap between existing, demolished, and new. Anyway, let's get to the more important part. We'll go to elevation settings. At the moment, I don't want these automatic height markers. To turn off the story levels, all I need to do is go into this setting just here. From display only, I just need to select none. And from there, if I just go OK, much cleaner. And we can set up our own custom heights, which is pretty straightforward. If we say just grab a polyline at the height of our slab from our ground floor, drag a line out, then we'll drag this one over to the left. We can use the dimension tool, then just go to the elevation construction method, click once on the height that we want to dimension, double click above, and then click one more time, and that is going to show us the height of the slab. We can repeat this for the ceiling height as well as the ridge height, and repeat this throughout the different elevations. I'll swap through to an elevation I've completed. This one just here, I've got ground floor as well as the ceiling height and the ridge height. And I've also done a little roof pitch here as well. They're quite simple. We just need to go to the polyline tool, click on our roof, click again, and then just click across just so it's straight out. We'll zoom in just to make sure it's definitely following that roof line. Yep, we'll click this one and drag it on out. We'll go to our angle dimension, making sure that we've got this construction method set, and then click once on the top in the middle, click again on the bottom, just in the middle, and then click a third time just out to the right, and there we go. And with that, we've got our angle. Let's just get rid of this one for now. That just pretty much leaves the ground line as well as the existing ground line. We'll have set these up using the site mesh, which I'll just turn on here quickly, just to give an example. If we go existing, then we go okay. If I drag this fill up above, I've taken a line and I've traced along where the existing is. And if I go back to the layers and then I go to the proposed site mesh, I'll turn that one on, we'll go okay. Because there's been fill applied to the site, I'll just draw another line where the proposed ground is. And that way, if I just go back to what I had before, we can show how much cut or fill is being applied to a site. This is a pretty basic one, and you'll find with steep sloping blocks, it gets a little bit more complicated, but a similar principle. This is typically how we show the maximum height a building can be as well. In most areas, you'll have a height limit. Let's say it's 8 meters in a particular area. You grab the ground line of the existing, tap Control to create a duplicate, then hit Tab and say if the height limit was 8.5 meters, we'll go 8,500 and we'll go Enter. We zoom out, we'll see that we're well within the height limit for this hypothetical situation. Some can be higher or lower depending on the area. Another thing I like to show on all of my elevations are the materials that are being used. They're not always necessarily in color, but instead of having arrows that point to all the different materials, and making a little bit of a messier drawing. Where I can, I like to use materials legend, just like this one up in the top right hand corner. I find this keeps the elevations quite clean and clear to read. One word of warning though, if you're taking these to construction phase, I would turn off the shadows. I've heard of situations where contractors have actually painted in the shadow lines, and when the architect and client have got to site and questioned why, they referenced to the drawings and said, but that's how it's been shown. Just watch out for that. I'm sure it's a very rare situation, but we can easily turn it off when we get to the construction phase just by going into our elevation settings and scrolling on down to the bottom in our model appearance and turning off shadows, and we'll go okay. And there we go. I have to admit, I do like the shadows. They give a little bit of extra depth to the drawing. So for concept and even at DA stage, I don't mind still showing them. Now, in some situations, you might need to show labels, say for water tanks or even columns, so you can specify the actual size. If we go into this elevation here, it's pretty simple. We just go to the label, click on what we want noted, and I've currently got it set up so that there's auto text on. But this doesn't mean it's going to automatically label everything for you. If I do the same thing but point it to the roof, it's just going to show what I had previously selected within that text. So what I can do, I can just double click, just making sure that we've got the quick selection turned on. I double click and go Control A to select all. Then I just type in color bond roof or whatever note I'd be showing in that situation. One other thing I do like to mention is the eave overhang. This can come in really important when it comes to the thermal modeling. So when the shadow is cast, how much eave is protecting the glazing from direct sunlight. This is going to affect how much heat we gain and lose throughout the day. And we typically note this on the basics, which is the thermal comfort performance assessment, but that's getting a little bit too deep for the sake of this video. If we just go back to our test elevation that we set up earlier with this little height here, I can drag this one just above the line, and I can also give it a custom label just in before. If I go to custom tech and just select in behind this and say ground floor height, and then go okay. And then from here, even if I say do adjust the height, the note will travel and automatically update it wherever I put it. If you'd like to download this model with all of its assets or any of my other tutorial files, make sure to check out the Patreon page, which I'm going to link down below in the description. It's where I put all of my ArchiCAD files, adding new ones with each tutorial. Having access to quality base files saves years of time and stress with the setup. I can't recommend it highly enough. For more tutorials, check out this video over here.